Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. As you can see, we're back with Mental Health Wednesday with none other than Mr. Matt Genius in the building.
Good to be back.
Yeah, so good to see you. Good to be here. And to my left, right is Mr. Larry Banks, aka Work You Too Hard This Morning. Banks. I was not. Listen, let me tell you something, Matt. You know when people like, when you're working out, if you ever watch any video, have fun with it. This
Right.
ain't fun. This is not fun. Have fun with what?
We're working out, right?
Working out. There's no fun. There's no fun with. And even when you know how people like, you ever see people trying to sell those energy drinks or those
Yeah.
shakes and stuff? They're like, don't me. You know that's nasty. You know that's nasty.
But the tunes be good though. The tunes be good.
Right.
You be rocking to the tunes.
Yeah. Indeed. 100%. 100%. What's up, Jeff? Good morning. Good morning. What's up, Lisa? Good morning. Mama Corey in the building. Good morning.
Blessings this morning. Blessings to
Appreciate
all of
you
you
guys
guys.
being
But y'all hear him complaining, but he keeps coming back.
That's right, man.
100%. It's like drinking a nasty shake. Like, oh, this is nasty. All right, let me get another one.
He's like, you know what? I'm gonna develop a tolerance for this eventually.
Eventually. I've gotten better. Because we started with the pre, and now we, I started off slow. So I'm doing better.
That's what's up, man. So you working out every day now, right?
No, it's just, well, with Larry, it's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
That's
Monday,
what's up.
Wednesday,
That's
and
what's up.
Friday.
Yeah.
I keep telling myself I'm gonna hit this Tuesday and Thursday because he got the replays available. So I'm gonna hit the Tuesday and Thursday. But how me and my bed relationship has been working out. it's not been happening. All right, let's kick this intro off. Make sure you guys sharing is caring.
Go on livecorefitness.com and click the replay. Livecorefitness.com and click the replay.
There we go. Get that replay. All right, so we'll be back right after this.
You're watching the Brothers of Legacy. We don't stand out. We stand up.
We're back.
Yo, Matt, ain't that beat dope? The intro.
Yeah, man. I miss that.
I mean, he rocking.
All right, let's get started. Make sure you share. All right, like you said, Jeff said, like beer. They say you will acquire a taste. Yeah. I'm not even a drinker like that because I guess because I spent so many years not drinking, I can't like a smidge of alcohol. I can taste it. You know, people drink. I can't even taste the alcohol. Like, yeah, I taste it. It's a lot. It's a lot in there.
Yeah, my grandpa used to be like, "Yo, come here and try this." And I'm like, "No, granddad, no, granddad." And he put us on this. Yeah. Look, he was torturing us. And then he would laugh.
And then he would try this. Oh man. All right. So today we're talking about setting intentions in your daily regimen as far as mental health goes and how to keep yourself, focused, spirits high, and not let the stresses and the nuances of your daily grind get to you. And I mentioned before we started, even something as simple as, reading a triggering Facebook post. And and what I realized, or any social media post, what I realize sometimes is, why am I tripping? That's just one person saying one crazy thing. Like I had to kind of quantify it, like it's just one person. And even if 1,000 people are agreeing with that in a world where how many billion? Like, it's just like a smidgen, of a corner of people that may agree with something crazy. Um, I don't know. Have you guys ever, you know, almost gone down that rabbit hole where you read something? I'm like, how could people, or the worst is like something like maybe related. Really? like, like, how do you not, how do you not believe? Like, you know, and Matt, and just how do you pull yourself out of that space? Because how when we're triggered, you know, how do you not? You ever let something sit on you all day? Like, how do you let that thing go?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
let it go.
First of all, man, it's good to be back, Larry.
Yes.
Good to meet you. Good to be on this platform again. All the audience that are watching, thank you for being supportive of this platform. What a great topic to come back on, setting intentions. I think sometimes it starts off with what the intention is that you have for yourself.
Right.
At 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 a stretch, I think a lot of us don't know how we want to feel throughout the day.
Right.
We don't know what that feeling is we want to encapsulate throughout our days because we don't have a base, meaning we're not checking in regularly to know what that good feeling is and what
Mm,
that good feeling feels like in your brain, in your heart, in your body.
right.
And then we don't know, well, we easily identify what the bad feelings are. And
Right.
so those easily can come back to the surface based on whatever external trigger or internal thoughts that we may have. And so if you're already down that spiral and you don't have a routine to get you back out, it's going to be, really much more difficult to get out of that emotional pit because, your system, your entire body is already
Right.
programmed to be more comfortable there, to be more at ease there as if it's normal. You're
Right.
talking about routines.
Right.
Routines are just a couple steps away from personality, right? And
Okay.
so if it's the routine to wake up in the morning, check your phone and read a couple comments or turn on the news and get the feedback from the world,
Right.
then that routine is also the routine of what your body and your cells and your organs are used to as well.
Right.
So they're lined up like, all right, so I guess we're gonna watch Channel 7 News or whatever news today. And then they're
Right.
ready. And then when they get that information, they start racing up down your body like, okay, we're upset this morning, we have something to be agitated about. So they're going to continue on that routine as well. The routine isn't in the brain as well, it's in the entire being. And so your whole
Mm,
body is altered based on what you are consuming, based on what we're
right.
consuming. So if I'm consuming information from the internet that troubles my mind goes in that direction, my heart, my emotions, and then my actual physical body follows. Meaning, by the time I start interacting with people, people can feel the difference in my being based on where I am in here and in here.
Right.
And so I think going backwards, what we have to start is with the idea of what the intention is. How do I want to feel today? you
Right.
know, and answer that question. How do I want to feel today? And then if you know how you want to feel, remember the feeling of that feeling.
Right.
Meaning, if I want to feel joy today, what does joy feel like in my
Right.
brain? What are the thoughts that bring about joy for me? What are the emotions internally that makes me feel joy? What are the activities? What's the song? Make me wanna dance, make me, put on some stuff, whatever it is that allows you to feel joy internally, then those are the things you move towards. And of course, there's a systemic, there's a systemic thing that we can actually put in place, a system that we can put in place to allow us to follow joy as we move along the day. And even when conflict comes, there's ways to reset to get back to that mental and emotional state to where the entire day is filled with that said intention.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty. That's I like how you expounded on that, and AD can tell you, he hears that word every time I doing the live core fitness
Yeah.
workout. 'Cause at the beginning of the workout
Oh, the
and at the
setting
end,
intention.
at the beginning of the workout, I say set an intention for today,
Right.
Yes. Yes.
right? For today, for this
Yes.
workout, and then at the end, remind yourself of that intention.
Right.
You know, I'm not telling you to go ahead and set a goal. Hey, what's up, Sam? I
Hey,
I, I
Sam.
didn't say I didn't say set a goal, because sometimes somebody will set a goal
Right.
that's too high to get. And if
Right.
you don't reach that goal, then you're dejected.
Right.
Right.
Like
Right.
like you come into the workout like, oh yeah, I want to conquer the whole thing. I'm not taking breaks. Even when he say taking breaks, I want to still move. Once we get to the
Right.
ab challenge, I'm gonna do the ab
Yeah.
challenge frontwards, backwards, side to side, and just crush it today, right? And then you get to it, and then you don't get through it, right? But if you set an intention, like, okay, my intention today is just to be here, sweat a little bit, get something out of this workout, right? So
Right.
now you're not setting something too high that's unachievable, but you're going at the workout with an intent. Hey, today I want to get through 2 sets and sweat some. Did I do it? I got through 1 set and sweat some, but I didn't make it to that second set. But I'm
Right.
okay with it, So
Right.
you're being okay. You're being more deliberate in what how you want to get there. And then the next time it's like, all right, I want to go for 3 sets.
Right. Right.
Right?
I think when you said something, Matt. And what's up, Brian? Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Pastor.
Good morning, Dad.
Yes, father. And congratulations on the new baby. That's why Matt's been out getting the sleep schedule right.
Yeah,
Sleep
getting it right.
together.
We finally got it up to 5, so that's why I feel comfortable being here this
Right.
morning.
That's awesome.
When I can get 5 under my belt, I'm good to go. So we got it up to
Right.
5. So I'm back.
Wow.
So you say like knowing where to reset back to, like knowing what your joy feel like or your happy feeling
Right.
feels like.
Right.
Because if you don't, because I was like, I thought about that, right? If you don't know what it feels like, how do you get back to it? Like, how
Right.
do you know where I need to be? Like, how do you know that I'm out of sync if I can't get back into my, I guess, that happy space,
Right. Right.
And how do you set that, like, how do you, I don't know, like I've been in slumps where you just like, man, you like reaching, like,
Yeah.
I can't get that high. Like I can't get out of this space.
Right.
You know?
And what you're referring to for most people is those who don't have those ideas in place. And when you don't have
Right.
those ideas in place, you're going to be reaching everywhere to try to grab hold of whatever you can to turn the wheel around, the ship around, however you want to call it.
Right.
But it's as simple as knowing what makes you feel good.
Right.
What makes your brain, feel wellness? What makes your brain feel like you're thriving? What makes your heart feel safe? What makes your heart feel joy, pleasure,
Right.
And I think the easiest thing for me, I can't speak for everybody else, but the easiest thing to go to in those times when I don't feel like I want to interact or be around or consume, the first thing that I can easily go to is gratitude for me. When I'm saying thank you, it's a reset.
Right.
That's putting bleach in the laundry right there. Now you game changer right there. You're gonna upset everything. It's gonna change the trajectory of what you're feeling internally, because gratitude has a specific effect on your mental, your emotional, your physical, your spiritual. That's the reset. And what that means is that you find things that are already present that you feel brought you joy, gave you love, shared kindness, whether it's a person, whether it's a place, whether it's the idea, whether it's a song. Once you go to those things, they're a low-hanging fruit.
Right.
I believe all of us who have breath in our lungs have something to be grateful for. And as soon as you start to exercise, man, I'm grateful for my kids. Don't go, although they, don't go to the, asterisks. I'm grateful for my kids, but man, they be,
But
yeah. Just stay with the things that you are grateful for, meaning the
That's
more
good.
positive, the more affirmative things in our lives that we're grateful for. I'm grateful for Larry. Larry works us out, even though he's a hard teacher, but I'm grateful for him because he's consistent,
Right.
The
consistency.
and whatever those things are, I promise you, as you start to recall those information, remember I told you the brain, the heart, the body is waiting for instructions from you. And so if the instructions is agitation, lack of motivation, they can be, all right, that's what we're doing today. We got our marching orders. Let's go. But if you go to gratitude, that's a different programming that allows everything inside of you, internally, spirit, externally, to feel different, to interact with your body differently, to put you in a different state. And the best part is when you're in that gratitude, that grateful state, it's easier to set an intention, right? It's easier to set an intention because your brain, your heart is more receptive to ideas that are now brand new to it. You're more receptive when you are agitated, when you're what I call deregulated. Now you're not trying to hear anything. Drink this water, get this water out my face. Right? drink this shake. It'll make you, it'll take away the cramps. I don't want to drink. So you're more likely to reject advice or help or assistance or anything that will allow you to feel more positive in the negative state. And so that gratitude is that resetting, and there are other things that you can do, prayer, meditation, silence, dancing. I can get you there. But for me, I think gratitude is the lowest one, is the easiest one that I can get to. And once that gratitude idea comes in my brain, it starts to go from top down. I start to feel it internally. I start to now feel the difference in my heart rate and the way my blood is moving through my body. My muscles are contracting differently. I'm paying attention now. I am more attuned to what I am experiencing so that if I need to recall it later in the future, I can remember this is what I felt. These are the things that I said. This is the idea that I had in my heart and my mind that allowed me to feel more in a positive state. Now, let me set my intentions. In this state of gratitude, what do I want to feel throughout the rest of the day? What do I want to experience? Who do I want to interact with? Where do I want to go? What I want to achieve, And so getting back to that state, because you're already familiar with what it feels like, allows you to do that with no issues at all.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's big, because I've been in that rough state, and I try to turn something motivational on. I don't want to hear that. And I'm like, oh, this ain't working. This ain't working. I don't want to hear that mess.
Well, yeah, I see. Because like with me, like during my my recovery, I was walking around with a cane, and then I was like, all right, I want to stop using the cane. So let's see how far I can go. And I will keep the cane in the car just in case I need to resort to it. But I can say that now, when we started to work out with 10 weeks, 10, 11 weeks now, I've been without the cane. I didn't use it. I haven't used it. Another thing I've done was I was set an intent to when I'm at the airport. I was like, all right. I was to my wife. I was like, all right, I'm gonna walk from the bag check to the gate. I'm gonna do it. I was like, it's gonna be slow. I'm gonna do it.
Don't rush me.
Then we got off the plane and we experienced our destination. How long that airport was? I was like, can I get a wheelchair, please? But the thing was, I did set something, an intent to try, right? And then every time it's like, okay, I'll just do it. I'll use it in one state, and the body, like you're saying, like the body is getting programmed now. I'm telling it what it's going to do.
Right.
Even when I'm walking without the cane, I can walk with a limp, or I can just walk regular and just tell my body, hey, just walk naturally. You don't want to limp.
Right.
Limping hurts.
Right.
Our body's programmed that way. Generally, by the end of the day, my body's like, all right, I'm ready to check out now. Take a break. But that's the end of the day, and actually, like one of my T's, I got like 3 different therapists, so I called them my T's. One of them was like, yeah, at a certain point in time, there is a fatigue that's going to happen when you're constantly doing this, and it's okay to take that break. So, but yeah.
So going into that, and Brian, just jump in if you want to add something. Sometimes I think about, like what you said, with the fatigue, being tired, when you're kind of at a low point, you could be more susceptible to like the negativity, just kind of taking it all in. How do you keep spirits up when you get tired? How do you keep spirits up when you're worn out, when you feel like, I've done all I can. you know, how do you, how do you, yes, because we had that enough. Well, I did enough. That's enough.
I thought you were quoting Donnie McKirkland for a second.
Oh,
After you've done all you can, right? Like, what are you guys talking about?
just stay.
Right? Like,
But there's truth to that, though. I mean, it's not like it's a simple task. It is a simple task, but it doesn't mean it's easy sometimes.
right.
yeah.
Right. You have to. This requires work. This requires intention. You have to want it. You have to want that more than you want the doldrums of despair. Right. It's a choice. I mean, I tell people this. I have to manage my endorphin release the same way you have good carbs and bad carbs. You have good and bad endorphins, and anxiety can release endorphins, but so can exercise. You have to decide, which side of the fence you want to be on for that day, for that moment, and you make the decision, and then you push yourself into a better space. I had to trick my brain and say, I don't want to go back to anything.
Right.
Because life is progression. I want to move forward to something new. Right. I don't want to go back to a feeling I once had. I want to experience a new feeling, something even better than before. Right. When I overcome something, I'm not overcoming. I'm not fighting to get back somewhere. I'm fighting to get forward to a new space.
Right.
So it's something that I do within my own brain that helps me visualize forward progression.
Right.
So I refuse to use the word. I'm not going back to anything.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense to me. When you think about how we are sometimes programmed to go through that roller coaster of emotions with just different things in front of us. You watch the news, they usually start you off with some big news, dun, 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 in your face, right? This is what's coming in. You're like, whoa, 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 whoa. And of course they bring you back down, and then they dial it back up again, and then right?
Yeah.
And
And
so
other news.
right. And other news, you're like, whoa, what just happened? And so you're seeing how you're now being controlled emotionally, and how you will go on that roller coaster by external, variables. One of my favorite ways to watch people interact with, the programming is when we watch sports, And listen, I was a diehard, Pastor knows this, Buffalo Bills fan. Boo, I know, boo.
No, you good. You good.
Boo, 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 boo. Was. Let me clear that up. Was, right?
It was.
And the worst time too, in the late 80s and 90s. And
Oh, that was the best of times.
nah, we caught a lot of L's back then, and my heart got broken several times over, right?
Right. So
You made it.
close.
By us.
You made that Super Bowl 3 years in a row.
I don't care about that stuff. Don't trigger me, man. Come on. Man. The tears are welling up already, man. Like, come on. But the point is, when we watch these programming, that's what it is. You can be down, 17 points, right? And you will feel what that feels like to be down, as if you're in the game with the jersey, and you feel it internally. Right. But the beauty of it is that let them get an interception. Automatically, your body is just charged with all those endorphins, with all those neurotransmitters, dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, oxytocin. Your body's just like releasing. You're like, yeah, let's go. We're only down 17. Let's go. Third quarter, we still got this. We still, you feel something because, right, in that moment of exchange, you're now expressing gratitude. You're saying, yes, that's gratitude. Yeah. It's not gratitude for you. You're grateful for something else external. So what I'm saying is that if you can attach gratitude to that moment of reset, it can automatically change the thought, the emotions, and what the body's experience in real time to allow you to then be in a healthier state of receiving and exchanging ideas of what do I want to feel. When I learned how that programming was working for me as a Buffalo Bills fan, watching it back in the day, I'm like, Matt, you were temporarily insane watching those games, because watch those games, I'd be on a high, like, man, we got this, we're gonna get it this year. at the end of the game be as low as any low could be, you know?
Yeah, it hurts. It is.
Yeah. Oh man, painful. But the point is, now that I've learned that the control could be external, I have learned how now to put that control back inside, how I can now take control of what I want to feel based on what I interact with. So now I'm not a Buffalo Bills fan. I'm free. I'm free. I don't have to attach to the roller coaster of highs, lows, lows. I can watch it without any emotions. I can be, a fan without necessarily attaching the emotions of high and low. And I don't think sometimes we understand the benefits of what that does for you. Mm-hmm. When you are in control, you can now lead your brain to wellness. You can lead your body to wellness. You can lead your spirit to wellness. You can control that climate that will allow you to be your best self in the state of gratitude, in a healthy intention. You get more intellectual capacity. You get more memory to recall. You get more high engagement. You're more welcoming to others. You make better decisions. All these benefits of having the right chemical composition of what's happening inside of you, meaning all of the endorphins, all of the neurotransmitters that are inside of you are for your good. Right. But we can do that. We can control that. You can control that with the ideas and what you actually welcome in.
So Matt, I'm kind of glad I didn't. We was told to wear blue today, and I was going to wear my New York Football Giants jersey. So I'm actually glad I did not wear that. That would have triggered you and took you to another place.
It was the Cowboys and the Giants,
Right. It was right.
So I'm glad I didn't get a chance to.
Nah, man, I think I'm healed by now. It's been about 20 something.
It's been a lot of years.
I think I'm healed.
It's been a lot of years. It's been a lot of years.
I guess I'm good because
you don't have to emphasize how many years it's been.
You got to represent.
That's big. You see that?
I heard that. I heard that.
Yeah,
I heard that.
Yeah,
like a lot of years since Dallas.
Yeah. Okay. Don't trigger me this morning. I'm still a fan. Okay.
There you go. But I think setting that base intention and knowing where you're, I guess, like a better way of putting it, but your happy space, knowing where to reset to is a huge one, and not allowing the negative to control your emotion, because you're right. It's mostly probably more external than it is internal. The stuff we're taking in that shifts our minds into the wrong space. That creates a rough attitude or a bad day because oh man, heard people say, man, I should just go back to bed and start over.
Yes. And even that is a mental thing. Even that is a mental thing. We have this mental visual of somebody getting out of bed and bumping their toe, like first thing, like boom. Like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and lay back down for a second. Let me just go ahead and start this day over, please. And I think that's wisdom. That's wisdom to know that if you started with pain, with agitation, with anger, with frustration, then what is your responsibility to get back to, or to refresh your brain, your heart, your soul, your energy to a more positive state? And that's your choice. That's a choice we have to make to decide, hey, listen, I don't want to start this day like this.
Right.
You ever had a conversation with a person, be like, you know what? Let's start this conversation over, man. How are you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. Like, forget everything I said earlier.
Forget what I said.
Let's bring it in, man. Let's hug it out. Let's start over. And I think sometimes those things are necessary. They're necessary. They're necessary. So if we know that we can reset, then choose to do so. And I think it may be different for the different emotions that may cause the pathway to a bad day. If it's anger, then you may need something different. But if it's sadness, you may need a different reset. If it's grief, you may need a different reset. But you have to know what those things are that can get you back based on whatever you're experiencing. So it's a personal thing. For me, I know what I need. I may need some tea. I may need to take a nap. I may need to ground, meaning go outside, put my foot on the ground, get some sun. I may need to go on a trail, I may need to just go for a drive, whatever it is. I know what it is, and it's my responsibility to enact that reset.
You're guarding that. I mean, that's what it is. You're protecting yourself. I mean, somebody said that many, many years ago. You have gates that you have to guard. You have to protect your ear gate, what you take in. You have to protect your eye gate, what you're looking at. You have to protect the mouth gate, what you speak. All those things matter to the daily experience in life. I love what who was it? Was it not Dickie V? Who was the coach back in the day that gave that great ESPN speech? He said, if you've had a full day, if you can get a good laugh, have deep thought, a good cry, that's a full day. The guy who did the Cancer Foundation, I forgot his name.
I know. I can see his face. I know you're talking about
Coach Favano.
Yeah.
Love that speech, but I can't remember.
That I think ego can get in the way of acknowledging and even put into action. What's up, Maurice? Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. My ego is huge, but my desire to feel wellness is greater. My ego can keep me in the pits, and I've been there where my ego's like, nope. Nope. And then we stay there way too long, not knowing that the longer you stay there, the more it's costing you,
Yeah.
And it does. I mean, it has a cost, to allow your body to be toxic, meaning the blood chemistry, because your heart rate is so high, your blood is moving so rapidly. Now your systems aren't getting fed what it needs to be fed. Oxygen level is, so it's a domino effect to where it's costing you. Right. So that ego that I know all of us have, right? That ego has to be set aside because my wellness is more valuable than my ego.
Man, what are you spending your emotional currency on?
That's dollars. Just let it rain.
So remember this? I guess a couple weeks ago, I was talking about last week about the waitress, and then I had one day I was like, screw it, I didn't tip or whatever, and where I go shoot pool at. But and then I was like, this one, why I don't know why she's not talking to me. Well, I kept going in with like, hey, I'm gonna still coming in with my same smile, my same positive attitude, and I want to force her to not just talk to me, but smile back and everything. What happened yesterday?
You got it back?
I got it back. She was like, hey, Larry, how you doing and stuff? What do you want? I'm like, and you want your big water again too? I was like, you know it. And I was like this. Yes. Right?
Yes.
And I was glad I was able to like that I was starting to let that ego get in the way and be like, you know what? I don't know why she's not serving me. I didn't do nothing wrong. Maybe I did do something wrong or whatever. But I was like, set that aside and go in with the intent to be positive and to turn that. She sat next to me at one point with her back to me while I'm talking to her boyfriend across from her. This is how it was. It was like this, like it wasn't even a cold shoulder. It was frozen back, right? And
frozen back,
right? So I was like, what did I do or whatever? Last thing I remember, the last contact we had was I gave her a hug. When I was giving, I gave everybody at the pool hall a hug.
Right.
And because I'm at a point where I'm enjoying life. I don't take a day, a second, a minute, an opportunity for granted. So, and I want to come in and just be that beacon of light, right? And she was trying to, it felt like she was trying to dim me down. I was like, can't let it happen.
Dim your light, brother. Don't let it dim your light.
Yesterday, she said, hey, Larry, how you doing? She smiled. And then when what happened, the guy I played against on the pool table was a very good shooter. I shut him out. Wow. so I was she helped me get me in a good space. So yeah. So that ego is, you can.
My children do that for me.
Was that?
My children do that for me. I get my daughter's got a lesson in what it's like to show up when daddy's bowling. Because if they're not bowling, it's boring, right?
Right.
So they came and hung out with me bowling, and my game was on fire.
Yes.
Right? I mean, like, I bowled like a professional that day.
There we go.
Because my daughters were there, and I have a memory now where I saved it on my phone.
Gotta get it back. Gotta get it back.
Yeah.
Gotta get that mojo. That's your mojo right there.
And my teammates were like, "Can they come again? Can they come back again?" Right? I mean, it's like, I'm like okay. I am bragging.
Go for it.
That's all right. I love it.
I've gotten myself back to just under a 200 average, right?
What?
But that day, first game,
say it.
222.
Ooh.
All right.
Second game, 239.
Nice.
Third game, 249.
Nice.
I had to take pictures, man. I'm like, nobody's gonna believe it. But now, if I ask them to come again, if they don't have anything to do, they're gonna come because they saw the impact.
Wow.
Right?
It is.
So it worked for everybody.
Yeah.
It was a great feeling, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they can also bring you down.
Didn't Matt just say
What was that? You threw it into the gutter on purpose?
But listen, my point is that there are good carbs and there are bad carbs, right? You have to pay attention to where you're spending your emotional currency,
right?
Because one wrong conversation prior to leaving to going to the bowling alley, that'd be good to break 100.
Right.
So it's like that, but where would you prefer to spend your emotional time, spend your emotional currency? I prefer to spend it laughing and smiling and joking.
True. It does definitely make a difference. In your environment, who you're around, and just overall days, of being, on a high as opposed to struggling. Right. Energy. Rod said energy is so powerful, can't really be explained by science. True indeed.
Yeah.
Definitely it helps with everything, how you deal with everything, your other interactions, because it's the worst thing is when you're in a bad space. Now everybody got to feel it.
Yes, and boy, do they feel it.
Right.
Do they feel it? I mean, we could change the temperature in a room,
right,
with how we actually, come in that negative state. Even sometimes it's our awareness that tells us that other people may be in a negative state. You ever entered into a room, be like, man, it is thick and stink in here. What is happening? What happened? And nobody's saying anything. Nobody said a word, but you can feel that, that tense that you can, cut with a knife. The expression is the tension, and it's because what the experiences are internally is being manifest in what you experience externally. So for me, I know visually what that feels like. How we like, yes, touchdown, you lift, or strike, or whatever, right? Whatever it is that you're experiencing, when that joy moment comes, when that victory moment comes, that's a visual representation for me. So I even save images of myself, like, so I can remember what that experience was for me. I love to capture those moments when I'm on those ultimate highs, so that I can have that recall easy, even in a picture, a video. Capture those moments, sometimes so you can come back and replay them and be grateful that you had those experiences. That's why pastors say, I have it on my phone. Boom. Oh, I remember that day. That was a good day for me. Automatically it changed the brain chemistry, which then changes the, ultimately your whole being. So those are receipts.
Oh, don't do that. My pastor preached on receipts. this past Sunday. I don't know if I want to go into it. I'll say that for another day. But oh man, but yeah, but
Receipts can be good or bad,
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
depending on how you look at it,
right.
So
Right.
for me, capturing those more
They
healthy
can
moments,
catapult you or they can convict you.
right? Capturing
Mm.
those healthy moments are more positive, So I think
Yeah.
sometimes we have to be intentional in capturing those moments,
Yeah.
You ever met a person who don't like celebrating?
Mm.
yes.
Yes. Okay, I was waiting for it.
I had to think. I don't think
I
I'm.
knew I knew somebody that wouldn't tell me his birthday and stuff.
Right.
Like, yo, what
Well, yeah. Oh, you know what? Yeah.
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 Who
I
don't
knew
like
you're right.
celebrating?
I knew
You
you
want
were.
to award them something like, nah, I'm good, man. I don't need that. I don't like
Don't do
that.
that.
Don't I don't want the attention. I don't like
Right.
Like, come on.
don't wish me happy birthday. I don't care if I,
Is it? But I
And
got
I'm
a
the
question
opposite.
then.
I'm like,
Is
was
it?
that?
Is it because
I know where
they
you're going.
don't?
You're going the Briar Rabbit route.
Is it because they don't want the high? Like, you know, or and I know we can't answer for someone that's not here.
right. Different strokes,
That
different
can,
folks.
Yeah.
yeah.
Different strokes, different folks. Some people are more attuned with just ease. They don't like
They don't want
necessarily
to.
I mean,
They feel like it's gonna be a low.
for where they
Yeah.
are, right? I
Right.
can't call it, but for where they are, that's what I've been there. I've been like, man, I don't care about my birthday, like, right?
Right.
And I think sometimes, or I don't care about Christmas. I think sometimes what we're doing is we're minimizing so that the expectation that we could have,
That's true.
right,
Right.
won't be unmet to then charge us with negative emotions,
Right. I'd rather nothing happen.
Yeah. I've had so many Christmas in my childhood that weren't good. So that's why I was like, man, I don't care about no Christmas lights. What I need lights for, man?
What I need light for.
But the truth is, it's
down
the
afterwards.
trauma. But it's
There you
it's the
go.
trauma because the
Right.
reality is you really do want the lights. It's just
Right.
that you didn't get them when you really
Right.
wanted them. So now
Right.
you hate them. You despise them.
Yeah.
And
It could
people
be
like certain people don't want to owe you.
right.
I don't want to be indebted to you for making me smile.
Too late.
That's crazy,
Yeah.
but it's
Too late.
true.
Too late. I'm Larry Banks. I'm gonna make you smile.
There you go.
Too late.
Right. Wow.
But yeah.
Guerrero says, this sounds good except for extremes where rationality may not apply. For example, the highest level of anger, deep despair, or loss requiring grieving.
Great point. And the extremes aren't necessarily what we're talking about. We're talking about day to day. The extremes, you don't want to rush through those or minimize those. I'm never saying try to take those away. And listen, at any given point, if we're not listening to what your body, what your mind, what your heart is telling you, then you're at a loss already. So the idea is to be familiar with all of the emotions and then have safe spaces where you can actually talk about those emotions, process those emotions, and eventually let go of them. Because anything in the extreme or, all things in moderation. So we can't be on that extreme high all day.
Yeah.
But you don't want to stay on those extreme lows all day, all week either. And so making sure that we have the opportunity to, process the anger emotions. The last thing I want to do when I teach anger management is be like, you can never be angry again. When you leave my anger management training program, you will never be angry again. Nah, that's not how it works. You will have a better understanding of your own anger and your emotions, and you will know how to reset. You will know how to process. You will know how to communicate. You won't have to go to the extreme of allowing those to then deregulate you for longer periods of time to where now you become a detriment to yourself and the environment around you, meaning the people, the friends, the family, the workspace. And so, yes, there are times when grief is a real thing, where anger is sometimes out of our control, but we don't stay there. All those emotions are still intimate, meaning it's still a desire for us to be close to someone else. When I'm angry, but I can share that anger feeling with someone close to me, then it's like it almost neutralizes it. You're like, yeah, man, I understand that. That makes so much sense why you'd be angry. You're like, yeah, man, I was trying to tell somebody, but they weren't listening. And so you neutralize it. You bring it in a state to where you're being accepted in your state of anger. Sometimes our angry feelings we get robbed of them. Like you can't feel those things. Like you shouldn't feel angry about that. But that's where you are. And if that's where you are, it's not my job to then pull you out of that without giving you the space to be validated in your thought. Right.
Empathize.
Exactly. In your thought, in your feeling, in your body. So now that you've had that, that empathy, it makes it easier for you now to have a window to kind of exit out of that in a safe way.
And the person that's going through, even the scriptures, I pulled this up while you were talking, Matt.
Right.
1 Peter 4:12-13. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you as though some strange thing has happened. It's not strange to go through a fiery trial.
Right.
It's not abnormal. It's a
Right.
part of life. And so he says, the word says, as though some strange thing happened to you, but rejoice in as much as you are partakers of Christ's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, you may be glad also with exceeding joy. Now, that may not be your mood when you're going through, but to have that information, right, helps you. It encourages you to recognize this too shall pass, right? Yeah. And whatever I got to go through, but let me try to go through it better.
Right.
Than what I would without this knowledge, because Definitely. It's not a strange thing. We all have to go through trial and error.
Definitely. Where he says, I guess going back to the celebrations, he says, is it not the attention or is it associated with pain? I guess as far as the celebration, not wanting to be celebrated. He said, is it not the attention?
Probably the disappointment.
But that goes back to the trauma, right?
Right.
Sometimes we have traumas and we have these experiences and they trigger an older trauma that we haven't resolved.
Forget Christmas. It ain't good.
Pastor said it case by case. Like some people, their personalities are built to where, social settings aren't necessarily where they thrive. And so to put that spotlight on them may be more detriment to their mental and emotional state. So it's understanding the context, but there are a lot of us, like Pastor said earlier, that like, it's the trauma,
Right.
I canceled Christmas a lot of times because I was just like, well, I ain't have it when I was a kid.
See, mine was
Santa Claus wasn't real for me.
mine was upside down cake. I don't like upside down cake. The upside down pineapple cake or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Because on my birthday, we supposed to go to Coney Island and it rained all day. And Mom made upside down pineapple cake at home. And I would never eat it ever again. I cannot eat it.
Can I tell you something, Larry?
Wow.
That's for the opposite reason. That's my favorite cake.
Wow.
That's hilarious.
That is my favorite cake on the planet. Here's the thing, like growing up, like for me, it's birthdays.
Right.
Because my older brother's birthday is September. The brother under me is September. My youngest brother is November 9th. So watch this. Mark is September 9th. Paul is September 15th. My mom is October 3rd. My youngest brother is November 9th, and I'm November 25th. Wow. So my birthday is always around Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just before Christmas.
Right.
There was never any money when it was my birthday. I was the last birthday in the house, and Christmas was around the corner.
Right.
There was never anything major for my birthday, right? I grew up eating apple pie as a birthday cake. I didn't even like cake growing up, man. I started eating cake as an adult.
Let it out, Pastor. Let it out.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man. So when that pineapple upside down cake was something that my mom did one year for my birthday. And it was, and it's my absolute favorite cake. Nice. So my first actual birthday party, my wife threw for me when I turned, I think 30. And it was a surprise party. And I cried.
Wow.
And now every time it happens, I cry.
And you know what?
Yes.
Since we doing some emotional digging, maybe that's why I never liked birthday cake, because I never had a birthday party. I know.
Come on now, man. Let's get some breakthroughs this morning.
There we
Break
go.
it out,
Nothing,
man.
maybe, nothing. Maybe that's why I don't like. I
There
did,
you go,
and
man. There
not
you go, man. Go ahead.
until I became an adult. And honestly, not until I became an adult did I actually start eating cake. Like, oh, this cake is good. You know, like the Publix cake, like
Yes.
off the chain. And then I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, I'm like, Pastor, I didn't have a. My wife threw my first birthday party. You know, the surprise party
Yeah.
and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
so it's
Wow.
wild.
Call
It's
it. That's the trauma, man. And so
It's
in the
wild.
emptiness of not
Yeah,
receiving, it's like a ledger. Look on this
yeah.
end. See, I didn't get that here. So
Right.
therefore, in
Right.
conclusion, why should I use?
Right.
Why should I experience?
He said,
So we can reset those
got me teared up
experiences.
over here. That's so silly. So this is a good one, Maurice. Appreciate you being here. You doing some good stuff over. He said, "What would you recommend to someone to balance these moments if you were never taught
Mm,
societal
Right.
challenges?"
Yeah. The first thing I do is do an assessment, on myself,
Okay.
start to realize those spaces where the pain points are, where am I more susceptible to feel my sadness, my anger, and what is it correlated to? What are those thoughts? What are those memories? What are those ideas? Who are those people? What are those places? What are those events in our lives that kind of take us down that hole of sadness and those negative emotions? And once you got a full understanding of it, then you have to ask yourself, can I manage, the process of healing on my own? Do I need external help? If you can manage it on your own, by all means. There are a lot of self-help books. There are a lot of audio books. There are a lot of, YouTube channels. There are a lot of tools that are out there that can help you process and go through these emotions on your own.
Right.
And of course, there are people that are equipped to assist you. There are professional therapists, there are professional coaches, there are pastors, there are counselors. There are a variety of people that you can tap into to help let go of some of these emotions. But I think once you've identified that there's a number of those things that you want to rid yourself of, then you have to start creating that journey of what it would take for you to do that. So assess and then figure out what it is that you need assistance with. If you can do it, manage it on your own, go for it. If you need external,
Oh,
go for it as well.
yeah, definitely. Gerardo said, I guess it's everyone getting on the couch this morning. He said, I never had a birthday party, but the birthday was celebrated. He said, never been to Disney. He said, like my mother up now.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Listen, man, that Michael Jackson song used to hit so hard. Have you
Right.
seen my childhood? I was like, where's my childhood, man? What about my childhood? So a lot of us didn't have those experiences in our childhood, and I promise you, when you look at that ledger, you see a lot of inactive experiences that we didn't have, and so therefore they don't show up in our adult life as something that we want to recreate.
Right.
But the absence of it doesn't mean the absence of it over here. You have to find
Right.
balance of what you want to experience and experience those things. Make them more significant for you. Create that
Right.
special feeling. And it's fortunate for some of us to have those people around us to see that we do need to be celebrated. Black men need to be celebrated, man. We need to be celebrated at all stages of our
say it
lives.
again.
Can you say that again, please? Can you say
Of
it
course,
again?
man. Yeah, black men need to be celebrated. We need to be celebrated at all stages of our lives. I had to learn how to celebrate me.
Right.
I had to learn how to celebrate me because that's not something that was taught. I didn't see my father do it. That's what we do. He just keep it moving.
Right.
That's what, and then keep it moving. But I think we have to be intentional and saying, good for me. I did that, and then having those external friends, family members that can pour into you that way, always positive as well.
Definitely. I think the pouring
Making
in.
sure Mrs. Banks heard that. Mrs. Banks, did you hear that?
I think the pouring in and the receiving. The pouring in and receiving is a big thing because learning to receive is a thing as well. Like, hey, don't worry about it. You ain't got, you ain't got to say all that. You ain't got to say all that. And when you haven't received it, when growing up or young, you don't know, like people celebrate you just like, oh, okay, you welcome, like, and it's kind of weird at first, but it makes a difference. It definitely makes a difference. Shout out to the wife. She always tries to throw something out there, text me, little things just to kind of, um, show my importance, just to kind of co-sign on how she appreciates what I do or whatever. So, and it matters, and she's done it a while and you look at it, just, it feels good, but it's always weird because you don't know, like, you didn't grow up receiving, like you had moments, you had the auntie that hug you, or but it's just like, oh, okay, thanks.
Yeah, that's for another time. You're talking about learning how to accept,
Yes.
affection, how to receive it authentically, right? Being in that space to where you can receive it without rejection. That's all retraining your brain, and all of it is possible. Having, what is it called? The love language, physical touch. Somebody trying to hug you, be like, don't touch me. We're not used to even physical touch of affection, and so rejecting it becomes normal. So I think that's another topic, man. That'll be a great conversation.
We talk about, we table that for next week. Put a pin in that. All right. Let's get this
maybe that waitress didn't like that touch, The Larry Love's language of touch, and she didn't like that,
Right, exactly,
Gerald said, it took me years to wear my father down to be able to hug and say I love you. Wow. He said, but he wrote it first before he actually said it, and then it was saying, but he eventually said it. Man, that's awesome, Gerald. Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, so we're gonna get ready to get out of here.
Say that to me.
We love you, Larry. We love you.
He does it he does a little smirk. He don't smile, he does a little smirk in his quiet state, like, and you're good.
Yeah.
I wish you could write it though.
All right.
Where's the couch? Where's the couch?
Listen, we appreciate you, Matt, for being here. Matt is a licensed genius. He's a licensed therapist.
Hey, that was a great slip right there.
Wow.
I love it. You heard that, Pastor, right? He gave it to me. You can't take it back now, brother.
It's on.
I can't take it back.
He's
a licensed therapist. He doesn't just play one on the internet. He is real and in living color. Also a recording artist. So make sure you look up Matt, M-A-T, Jeanius, like wearing Jean S. So let me actually, so you can see his full name and take this down. Make sure you guys stay connected. He's on YouTube. Has an amazing song about his brothers, the brothers. And he has a whole plethora of other songs. Definitely check him out on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to your music. Matt Jeanius as well, and you can connect with him as far as therapy. So get that musical therapy as well. So we thank you, Matt, for being here, joining us again. We look forward to seeing you next week on Mental Health Wednesdays, and we appreciate you guys for being here. Mr. Larry Banks, Pastor Brian A. McCrory Sr. in the building as well. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. Oh, it is Minority Mental Health Month.
Yes.
Saying that correctly. Minority Mental Health Month. And we always talk about 988. If you or someone you love is having a mental health crisis, going through something, this is it's a national number. You call up if you're going through or know somebody that's going through, you call them up and they can send out the right professionals to assist in any situation. Right there you go. That's what we want. We need Matt's music on like Siri. You say Matt, his music just pop up. Appreciate it, Mama Corey.
I appreciate that, Jeff.
So we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. And know that we love you. Jesus loves you better. Okay. All hearts and minds are not clear right now. Obviously.
My apologies. I want to take this moment to wish my daughter, Rachel Marie, a happy 19th birthday.
Nice.
Happy birthday, Rachel Marie.
Today. And I have to celebrate it because I don't have any more children that's going to turn 19.
Wow.
It's my last 19.
You did it.
There you go.
That's amazing. That's
go.
amazing.
There you go.
Seriously, that's an
There you go.
amazing accomplishment right
Nice.
there, man. That's beautiful.
That's awesome. Let's
Yeah.
see.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. All right.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Lisa says happy birthday. All right, guys. We see you tomorrow. Thankful Thursday. All right. So
I like that.
be blessed. And we will see you in the AM. Peace out, guys.